It was suggested last time, I don't know if you want to maintain this, that the three of you meet for your perhaps weekly planning or monthly planning of doing good here at Villains. Under the guise of a role-playing game or whatever.
Maybe. Playing a board game?
Yeah, playing a board game, right?
Whatever.
Play superheroes.
That's right.
We play good identity, but by playing identities.
We play a board game called Villains Vigilantes.
Yeah, perhaps.
Or we play a board game called Villains Vigilantes.
Absolutely, yeah. The two of you looking here at the bridge can see what I've described. Both of you make a detect hidden.
All of us?
Kind of dice.
That's percentage.
I have 22.
Uh-huh. And this isn't really hidden so much as just difficult to.
Do I just like roll both?
Yeah, roll those dice and look for 22 or less.
Okay. No.
And you?
No way, I need something less than 12. So.
Okay. So therefore, at the moment, you don't see anything beyond what I've just described.
So it could be just a car accident.
Mm-hmm. But there could be people hurt, and there could be, there could be any number of things to concern yourself with. So what would those be?
I'm keeping the.
You're not there yet. I want to see what they're doing first,
sorry.
then I'll find out from you.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I think, first of all, I visually, look, do I see any people that look hurt? Do I see, can I, obviously I'm not going to see the integrity of the bridge, but I could see, for example, the hole in the railing.
Yeah.
Does it look like anyone's falling down the railing?
It doesn't look as though anybody has fallen down that, but there is part of a vehicle protruding over it.
Okay.
And how it doesn't look like it's sliding, but it is sticking out over that. There's crumpled vehicle, at least one vehicle has been crumpled, and that's not a good sign. And then as far as people being hurt, well, right now you can tell that there's at least one group of people on your side of the bridge who seem to be really busy with some kind of activity, but not as organized as they should be if they're trying to help people. Maybe they're having trouble collecting themselves enough. And as yet, there are no ambulance sirens. It's been too soon. So you're basically the first responders.
So, technically, we could just call 911.
You could, but there may be people being hurt right now.
True.
You still should call first.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
I think we call
Well,
the number. 112, right, but
after all, right?
Yes.
And so.
And after that, we'll start to see if there are people.
Okay.
Get them out of the car.
also important thing to think of, I think my intelligence should be enough to understand that when someone's been in a car accident, there is a risk of back, spinal, or neck injury, which means if we take this person out of the car, unless it's completely necessary,
right,
they could potentially die.
Right. So, however, maybe not everybody knows that. It might be a good idea to go in there and
check them out
and ensure that nobody is saving somebody over enthusiastically, for example.
Trying to play hero.
Right.
We're
real heroes.
We're the ones playing heroes.
Exactly.
We're being it, playing it, discipline.
Okay, so as you zip yourself, you're running up at this point, and the three of you can see all of what I'm talking about. So what activities will you swing in to do? And will you use powers, for example? You can set up these force screens, for example, which might be good for crowd control, might be good for, you move them, so you could use it to, protect that car from going off the bridge, all that kind of thing. Your whip is, as you say, a bit of a prehensile device. So
my special weapon is a trident that always comes back, by the way.
Oh, I see.
But
Okay.
I don't think it's useful that.
Well, not at the moment.
Not at the
right?
moment.
I'm going to use my force field and try to push that car back on the bridge.
Okay.
If I use my super duper force field and Frog, Hippie Frog, uses their force field, does that mean we can push the car up?
The
Are we on population control then? Yes,
Sure.
keep people out of the way.
okay.
With a whip?
Yeah.
Well, he's
He can try friendly talking.
Yeah,
I would recommend
I
that.
have 21 charisma. I can't talk.
I think
Listen to me say
people
back.
What's your
would.
charisma?
21.
That's right. He's very impressive, especially when he puts on that mask.
Yeah.
I think you
So-
could maybe you could instead of threatening the people,
Yeah.
you could
It gives
try
you
to
a
speak
sense.
to them.
Yeah. Just
Like,
making
Let
joke.
let me put it this way. If you crack your whip just to direct people's attention to you with that kind of charisma,
Yeah.
it will not be perceived as a threat unless you want it to be.
Yeah.
So therefore, it's
Yeah,
kind of a
yeah,
crack. Hi everyone, I'm here.
People talk, crack, listen to me, stay back.
Yes, and it's Stinger, right?
Yeah.
So everybody,
Are we known? The superheroes?
Enough, just enough.
Just enough of the study like that.
Right.
Uh-huh.
Hippie Frog.
Did I just hear her threaten people?
Yes, you did.
She threatened
And did
me.
you just-
Yes.
And
I was
did you
threatening
just
neutron.
tell me
And
she
did
seems
not
to
say a
move-
word about like the safety of these people,
Mhm.
right? Seems to be leveling that gauntlet in a horizontal fashion. In fact, that's what she did when she was like, or you'll get hurt.
Did you just
So you can
tell
see
us?
as her fist
Mhm.
clenches the openings of the joints in the gauntlet, and that same flat, bright red is revealed under it as she does so. I'm not being subtle here.
No, well,
Let's
I got
just-
ideas, but I was like,
Yeah.
Let's
Uh-huh.
just try a little bit of lightning.
That we should all know exist and how it works. So this table, attack type, defense type. So if you have a defense that is placed, the power that is active when an attack comes in, then we can use you in the defense column. And you should know that to activate a defense when an attack is coming in, costs you 2 power
Mhm.
to be able to do it. So for example, if you were using a chemical power against an android body,
No.
you have to roll a 15 or less to hit.
Poor android.
If you are using a chemical power against astral projection, you have to roll a 3 or less. If you are rolling it against adaptation, then that is a 0 or less. Now, if you are using it against against no power is active, just against a person, that's the number you use.
so it's easier to hit someone with an android body.
Yes,
Okay.
and much harder to hit somebody with adaptation.
Mm-hmm. Isn't that just impossible?
No, because for 2 things, that is just the beginning.
Okay.
This table is just the beginning. So if there is a blank, not a 0, but a blank, then you use this number.
Okay.
Now for the modifications. This is the next most important, which is your level against the defender's level. the attacker's level versus the defender's level. And you will see that when levels are equal, the attacker is at -1. You will see that if the attacker is much higher than the defender, then they get some pluses. Also, finally, there is your accuracy. If you look at your sheet, you will see the accuracy value. So let's take you, name an attack. Unless you just punching is fine.
Yeah, well, I have my special weapon.
That's right.
Yeah, the trident that always comes back.
Right. And so technically that is hand to hand. Now, interestingly enough, they are fairly unforgiving about punching someone or spearing them or stabbing them or something. It's 5 or less. You might remember that. But you will note that, yeah, and it gets only worse against all the power defenses. So if you want to be hitting anybody with hand to hand, you better be a lot better than they are. So what is your accuracy?
+2.
Right, so that's +2. And then the best you can do is against a -1 person. So that's going to be a level 1 person, so that's -1. So
That would be a 6. So
Yeah.
Lost it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But wait, let's double check here. We decided to use the trident as if it were a spear, okay? So that means that you would have a +3.
Okay.
So your base would be against just a hand-to-hand combatant would be an 8.
Plus my 2 accuracy.
Plus your accuracy, so that's 10 or less.
Yeah.
And then the level adjustment.
Right, which is -1, so it'd be a 9.
For the last time, yeah.
Yeah. For level 1 opponent.
Yeah. So that's the arrangement. The last thing to keep in mind is range. However, these ranges are given in what they call inches, which are about just over 1.5 meters each. So that's pretty far.
Why do they call the inches? Why is an inch 5 feet in this game?
Because of maps.
Right.
Oh.
Because you used to
Grid
play
maps.
these on these grid maps. One of the details is that the hippie frog has decided that police are not really where she wants to be today. The van has not survived its lightning experience particularly well. In fact, I could even... Yeah, so hit points worth of the structural rating is the hit points per cubic foot. About a basketball. Except a cubic basketball. And you take a look at this, and that's the number of points worth of substance which are reduced to powder or shards or splinters, etc. So the electronics of the van have a structural capacity of 3. And the steel, in fact, the machinery is 6. And the steel is 11. And I believe we saw 16 points of damage.
Ouch.
Now, do I recall that somebody used their telekinesis or something?
We don't have telekinesis.
No, but somebody did something to collect the dangerous stuff, the weird stuff.
Yeah,
out of the van.
That was
Helma used the
Oh, the
frog.
force
field.
If you force
Okay,
it,
so
force field.
some of that got out of there.
Yes,
So
most of it.
Right, exactly. And it didn't get blasted.
No.
Okay, so that is quite fortunate, I would say.
Don't hit things with lightning.
Totally drops it. So you have bonked the gun out of the guy's hand. Nice shot. Okay, what does that look like? I mean, do you have to like target like with what?
I think he kind of like moves his hand in a
Okay.
manner. Right.
But still, it has to look like a forced screen, like or some sort of telekinetic energy, or
Yeah,
sorry.
it's a magic thing as well.
So
So
it's magic. Okay.
it could just be him doing just that. And
Oh,
then there's
right.
a screen appearing, like
Ah, yes.
realizing.
Perfect. Do we all agree that your force fields are kind
No,
of like?
it's a power. Wait, no.
Right. Okay, hold on. But
Wait.
let me check here. In your case, can we all agree that your force fields have sort of a rainbow soap bubble kind of?
If it makes you very happy,
It really
yes,
does.
absolutely.
And
My
yours
super
is
force
a power, yeah, and your super force field is a completely different effect. This is some sort of fake physics, fictional physics. So what does it? It has to look different from a magic one, right?
I think
Obviously.
every time I thought of the force fields, I thought of like this type of blue.
That's
Okay.
beautiful. I like that.
Yeah, almost the same.
Mm-hmm.
They don't.
Sounds good.
I mean, but it does it
But
like
like
form a circle from a pinpoint and expand outward, or does it?
I think it kind of if you think of if you've seen Infinity War when Thanos taps his finger and they dematerialize, that will reverse.
Ah, oh, I see. Okay, okay. Yeah,
So it's like from one corner, it's like
that's so weird. All right.
That's perfect. I like that.
So are you gonna let the car squish the cop? Is the question?
No, I'm just trying to figure out what I can realistically do. So, is my agility making me faster? Can I get him out of there if I tackle him?
What's your movement?
Where do I find that? Thanks. 47 inches.
Yeah, actually, you are pretty quick. You would be able to get in there. Remember, it's a saved action.
Mm-hmm.
So once you see that action underway, you can preempt it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like the car's about to hit him and then
I
she
think-
starts running. Okay, so you're going to do the
I'm
agility.
going to dunk him into the water and basically take him off
Right.
Into the water?
with me.
Well, she's taking him in the water. Remember,
Yeah.
she's froggy.
I'm going to take him
Even
off
though
the
there's no
bridge with
special
me.
power associated with it, the only power
There
associated
is a
with
hole
it.
in
Right,
the
right.
railing of the bridge,
That's true.
so I can get through there.
True. What I'm trying to say is that the benefit she got from having frog powers was heightened agility. I'm going to generously assume that swimming has something to do with this, right? So keeping somebody alive in the water is not a problem for the AP frog. So yes, go right ahead. I believe that this is for someone of your agility. There is no role that you need to
Okay.
make, I don't think. And unless I'm missing something, but I don't think so. Yeah, I think you're actually in pretty good shape for this. So you can dash you can see that the projectile is going to get thrown this way. And you can dash over there and in an impressive and not exactly human bound, get over the railing with the officer.
Good.
Excellent.
Good deed of today.
Yeah. Splash. And the car, the Volvo, will impact that same much abused section of the bridge. The hurtling mass of the car is definitely enough to crack the asphalt and to it's certainly not enough to damage the actual foundation of the bridge, which is a very substantial and engineered, surface. So I don't think it's not like the car is going to actually crack the bridge, but it is going to crack the pavement, and it is going to generate a horrible sound and plenty of shrapnel and other things crashing everywhere. All right, so that
Good
is.
problem. I think I have to swim a while.
Yes,
before
you
I
are
can get out of
right.
the water.
You're in the water. The good news is that as soon as you leave as soon as you leave the range of the emotional effect, the officer will recover instantly.
Okay, I hope he's
We're there.
thankful. Yeah, we're there.
You
And
can
I
just
think
you can just get
Yeah, you're down there. Yeah.
Swimming against that current? No way. I'm
It's-
sorry. I can. Yeah.
Isn't it going the other way?
The
It's
current
snowing.
goes this
Oh,
way.
Is it?
no.
No, wait. Where are we?
Yeah.
Here.
It
The
goes
current
like that.
goes this
Yeah.
way.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
so you
one
can
is
swim
down
there.
there. Yeah.
So I'll try to get out of there somewhere here.
Yeah, that's.
But I have to go by this salmon
Yeah, you'll end up with
staircase because
exactly.
that's really steep there.
Okay, catch one.
So
Yeah,
basically,
that's really
where the-
steep, so you have to get to the muddy place
Basically, where
just after that. Yeah,
where the playground is
Exactly.
and that stuff.
exactly.
I think
yeah.
that's the
Papa
first
Grappa is
part.
right up the hill there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the first point where I can get out of there.
Okay. Yeah, right. The ducks.
If he isn't thankful, I don't know what I do.
Yes, the ducks have an opinion about you suddenly emerging out of the water with this police guy, but that's going to happen in a little while.
I may misremember, but were we talking about the possibility of doing it like a school activity, like a event with it?
Yeah.
That's why we're waiting a week.
Right,
Yeah.
right, exactly. Okay, now I recall.
Because I mean,
Mhm.
in that case, we could pretty openly use our
We could
true
gather
identities.
we could gather information about the company and say that it's for the class trip.
Right.
You can
Yeah.
ask questions
Yeah.
during the class trip.
Mhm. Or even in preparation for it.
Mm-hmm.
And I certainly could go in as a teacher's assistant on a class trip.
Mhm.
I've
Definitely.
actually done that because I kind of have the right background, and within IT and technique, it's always nice to have a couple of women around as a role model.
Perhaps because of the technical aspect of
Yeah.
the company.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
It would fit in.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
All right. But that means, of course, that you are not the only people on the class trip.
No,
So
No.
you are coming in with a fair number of
students.
of
Yes.
meat popsicles.
Yeah.
So-
And I guess they will be my classmates since I am the one who goes to school with the IT department. So just people I know.
It's just this entire class. And then
Yeah.
one random 60-year-old woman.
Yeah,
One-
and the unknown as teacher assistant.
Yes,
Yeah.
with some sort of special request to attend.
fake mustache.
Well, I was thinking more in terms
Honestly-
of
Yeah, no.
some official justification.
Honestly, given that there is usually only one or two classes for each kind of age group, I think we can take the whole IT group.
Yeah, but
One or two
yeah,
classes
basically.
makes sense. Like,
Yeah.
So you could take all three classes.
You gotta think of
Does that make about 60 people?
Uh,
Because they would
Nah.
not. They would
Depends,
They are not
not
so
depends
big.
on how many you have per class.
Right now?
about 20-30 per class.
Oh, yeah, they won't let that happen. It would be one class.
Okay.
Yeah, one class.
That would be that's
So
as
many
many as they
nowadays.
want.
That's beautiful.
Yeah. I think I told there are 300 students in my school.
Wow, that school has grown.
Yeah, and it's in size, in area it is small. Like it's a 2 stories, not that big. You have it on the map. I can
Right,
show you
yeah.
exactly how big it is.
Okay, one class.
Yeah.
And a couple of extras.
Yes. Uh-huh.
You moved up quickly and skip a few grades.
I think it's more a matter of.
I was very interested in the company.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think it's a matter of being there by request.
Mhm.
And somebody signed a piece of paper that said
Yeah.
you could go. It would probably be set up as a almost a media or promotional event for the company as
Mhm.
well. They're getting a little bit of good press and a little bit of open to the community
And
and
the students like Tech Bro.
uh-huh,
Like at least.
reaching out to
They
the
should be
youth
really
of
happy.
this year plant and its increasing prosperity and its its shining example of economic ambition to the rest of Sweden.
This might be the new Tech Bro workers
Yeah.
in
Exactly.
their eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Or that's might be what they say.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, the way this would be handled is very much in splitting up groups into probably into quarters.
Mhm.
So that would be about 6 or 7 students
Yeah.
for in
Mhm.
groups, and the groups are then taken around by different people. This isn't really a very big staff, but they would have, you know what? They have hired some people to just kind of be uh, generic group organizers, people who set you up into different groups and walk you around to different places. Because apparently the Tech Bro actual staff really isn't that big. So, and one of those stations, oh, I'm starting to like this. Okay. You guys are going to hate this so much. One of the stations, the 4 places that they take one group of students to at a time, is the right. It will just be out in this open area. Okay, this is where the bus would drive. Go through here. There's some fairly industrial looking doors here. Sorry, ordinary doors. That's like a regular people door. This is the big industrial drive-through roll-up door. The outer warehouse itself is extremely modern looking. It has a kind of a metallic, anonymous look to it. Not the kind of 70s things with cool angles and stuff like that. That's sort of supposed to look futuristic. This has much more of kind of a functional sides and top and kind of looks like a box.
Yeah, I was gonna say like a box.
Yeah, yeah. Maybe with some
Practical.
sub boxes, but really nobody put any thought.
It's
into
practical.
it. Yeah. And so this is the big door that rolls up or sideways or something. And so then this is like a big hangar in here with all of these rows and racks of various supplies or technical instrumentation of some sort or another. But they are not beeping. These are not like banks of actually operating equipment. These are components.
Mhm.
However, some of these are set up slightly more like a workplace, where like back here, a person could actually be standing there at a waist level, kind of a bench. Some of these are a little bit lower than the others, where you could actually do work on top of them. So then this inner part has some office space and some other workspace as well. So the question is which group you are going to be in. In the one, they are going to just be out here, and some very cheerful person who has just received their gymnasium degree in customer relations and similar, people greeting and management, public relations kind of stuff.
I know exactly what I have gone to those classes. I know exactly what you're talking about.
They're going to do a bunch of get to know each other icebreaker exercises and fun facts about Tech Bro.
Name 3 things you like about it.
Yeah, or things where are there 3 things you never thought technology could ever do?
So by now, 5 of 7 people are trying to break into their computers.
That's right. So
Fun fact about technology.
Right. So, but anyway, so that would, however teeth grinding and agonizing that particular activity is, it's happening here. And then some other people are being taken into the administrative areas to meet Håkan, who is of course very busy. And then Another group is taken into the cool, some of the cool stored stuff.
Are we supposed to ignore the big red splatters on the cool store stuff?
Yes.
Yes,
Okay.
we're supposed to
Come
ignore
away,
it.
please.
It often
Not all
exists.
battle maps had they may show up, right? Who knows? They may end up being there. We will see. And then, at least there's no pictures of zombies.
Yeah.
And then,
Workers.
and
It's
then
tired
over
workers.
here, in some of the areas, some of the materials is where people there's a whole bunch of components laid out that people can actually touch and play with, right? Of different technical things. There's even something like build your own project. There's a place where you write down your ideas for projects and of course share them into the box, which is to say they are ripping off all of the students' ideas because that's sharing, And
It's a box and then it goes like little paper cutters.
That's right.
Very high tech.
No, I strongly suspect that somebody's going to be reading through those carefully and saying, "Ooh, let's try that." So let's start establishing where everyone is and in what group. Are the three of you going to make a certain effort to stay in the same group?
No.
No, you're not.
Split up a certain.
I mean, if they kind of establish the groups, like counting down 1 to 4,
Pretty much,
You're
something
just-
like that.
we're just going to flow with it.
Okay.
I think.
Yeah.
Okay, in that case, there's a bit of a question. There are 4 groups, as I say. So roll a d4.
Everybody?
Yeah.
2.
Group 2.
Two
Group 2.
groups.
Group 3.
3. Okay. Right. So the 2 of you
Mhm.
are there. Group
Which is-
1 is doing the friendship circle.
We all left out on that one. None of us want that.
I guess they are going to move
Right.
the groups around, but so far, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, right now we are lucky.
To give you a little bit more
I'm
information.
interested in
Yeah.
the exhibits in that room,
Aha.
far more than in the person.
I see.
If I'm
Okay.
completely
Absolutely. And
Like-
people are encouraged to look around. So, and he's
I would like
he's
to
going
go
to-
to
If
Yeah.
everything
Happy
goes
Frog. Or,
hippie frog.
Hippie Frog. I
Yes.
keep messing up on that.
That's okay.
Happy frog's a pretty good name
Happy
too. The more I
Frog.
think about it, yeah.
Frog.
Same
It's
initials.
the frog.
Froggy.
Froggy is completely okay.
I think I would like
Froggy.
to.
As long as you
Wait,
don't
go ahead,
use it
yeah.
as a
So
nickname.
we're walking around the office, right? And I
Mm.
was
Here mostly, but yeah.
there mostly. I would like to, if possible, tell Hippie Frog about not directly like, look, he's not human,
Right.
but perhaps hint that there is something off about him.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Mhm.
Do I recognize him from the bridge?
Yes, this is Håkan.
Yeah.
And he
We all
and
recognize-
Yeah, you all
Mhm.
recognize him for sure. And certainly from one of his eyes, that same red.
Mm-hmm.
You at the right angle, right? You can see if you're looking like right down the pupil, you'll see that it is that red that you saw before.
Do I still have the red thing on my arms?
What's your healing rate?
It's 1.2 on my full.
Yeah, you're back up. You're back
Yeah,
up.
back up
Yeah,
a week ago.
right. So no, it has finally subsided.
Okay.
With
So Håkan can spy you,
right.
I guess.
And you wanted to examine some of the.
Yes, I want to know if they are all going into the same direction, like what are they used for? Are they all inventions that's
Well, the materials
Which
here
direction
are
they go?
less about fancy inventions, mostly, and more just about sophisticated data monitoring and
I would like to check the things out with my intelligence.
although right here, of course, is more entertainment. This bank is more for the analysis and monitoring of business trends and invention trends and things like that. But there is, as Håkan will point out, there is there is a some of their technology that he's going to show off.
Yeah, because I was a little bit wondering if I should ask if they are using this display to inspire their employees, or if there's anything they actually did themselves.
Well, yeah. Well, this is where they actually do their brainstorming, and then when they talk
So
with
is
their
this
and also
inspirational
consultants or
material,
partners.
or
When we partner with another company, this is where we come and have our discussions and examine it relative to the trends of the day and things like that. So, but the invention that he's going to show off is going to be, oh man, this is actually going to be a little creepy. He's going to open up like this cabinet over here, and in it there will be a person's head and the tops of their shoulders mounted. And it is perfectly proportioned, although it is not made of flesh, obviously. Yeah, it's made of a synthetic substance of some kind, and it's not made to look like flesh, so it doesn't have the uncanny valley. But as I say, though, the proportions are particularly ideal human.
So it looks like a human without the material color.
Right. And it's not very detailed. Every bit of anatomy is there, but it's not detailed. And right now, the neck is bent so that it's looking at the floor. So it's just from the tops of the shoulders up, neck and head. And Håkan says, meet our test display, where we examine different aspects of augmentation, new human potential. And he says, you here are seeing things we haven't even shown clients yet. That's when the thing looks up and looks at you. Right. And everybody, starts. And he says, don't worry. This is just a platform to demonstrate some of the things. And he taps on his phone. And its eyes move, and he says, check out the data that it's sensing. And the screen comes up, that same screen over here comes up, and it shows what it's looking at. And he can, turn dials to change the different, spectra that it's perceiving and stuff of that kind.
So I would like to ask Håkan, why did you choose to give your demonstration this android human-looking exterior?
Well, for the very reason that it is the augmentation of human function. You see, at TechBro, we are not really about the machines. We're about the people. God, I can't believe I'm coming up with this stuff. I haven't prepared it. I just know Håkan now, but crap is just coming out. We're about the people. And so it seems very important to me as the chief executive officer and owner of TechBro, albeit, it's very important to me that any client recognizes where the priority lies. And that, for example, I would not be producing some kind of a tractor or some kind of a jet airplane or something like that. I would not be making merely tools. And he says, no, I am helping us become as real and as present in the world as we possibly can be, not limited by our biology, not limited by, and here he pauses, personal problems.
Thank you.
I think
he took that last part really seriously when he said it.
I'm hearing a lot of things he's not saying, and I'm interpreting what he's saying. Yes.
The neutron, I think he'd asked him about if this augmentation is just a platform or if this is a concept of what a human augmentation could be. Like, if the human robotic head, if this one's just meant to be a robotic head, or if it's just a concept of what you could put inside a human.
Well, certainly the visual, the optics that you see here are actually developed toward the ends of augmenting and uh, uh, helping to certainly protect and to enhance the performance of an actual human body. He says, "You seem very interested. What's your name?"
Well, the neutron says Theo, since that's my name.
Mm-hmm. Well, Theo, he says, sounds great to be on personal, friendly terms with this guy. He says, I think that you should ask the hardest questions you can think of. When you meet Henning, just a little bit later today, the two of you will strike sparks off each other. I can tell right now.
I'm not sure what that's a good thing, but
and the other students all look jealous that he's singled you out for your
the unknown guy.
And he's the unknown guy.
Yeah,
right?
like,
He's the unknown guy. They're like, who's this asshole? Right. The other students are like, who let him? What's he doing here? He's not in the class.
And now we also know where this place is.
Mm-hmm.
We basically know where the doors are.
Yeah, there's one big there, one there.
Mm-hmm.
So, well, the big question is, are we going to commit burglary and break into the house? Or factory?
Good question.
Agility.
What would be the alternatives?
The alternatives would be not breaking into the factory.
I do seem to have the full Swedish criminal code right here.
Perhaps we should read the 365 pages of
Certainly.
the Swedish criminal code.
We're not reading all that.
You know
That's
what?
100 for each.
The trouble is, the trouble is these are kind of complicated crimes.
Yeah, but
if it was just like, assault, I'd be all set. But it's like, wait a minute, how many of these little statutes, are violated in part, by all this stuff?
where do we, oh my god.
But it is much simpler. You're right. It is very straightforward. I will say that. This is, I read this and I'm kind of like, oh, well, yeah, that makes sense.